Welcome back, everyone. Here we are for another wonderful math video, this time about statistics. Yum, yum, yum. And we have a little two-way table here. And so we're supposed to find the totals. And so I'm just going to go ahead and just add these up. I'm just adding the columns down. And then don't forget to add them across as well. So this is going to be 201. And this is going to be 244. And then together, those are 445. This column here needs to add up to 445. And also this row here needs to add up to 445. So that's another good way to check that you did the math correctly. So fill in totals. We've done that. How many people are described? Well, that would be 445, apparently. And what percent of people look at the outbreaks page? Well, of people implies total, right? It didn't say what kind of people. It didn't say anything particular about it. So that tells me that it's actually referring to the total. And so therefore, this is the outbreaks page total over the total. So this is going to be 228. Divided by 445. And then we just have to convert that to a percentage. And feel free to use a calculator for this. I will let you use one, of course, here. And that will tell you that it's 0.5123, blah, 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 blah. So you know what that means? 0.51, that means it's 51%. So I'll just say 51.2%, give it one decimal spot, and that will be it. And let me just highlight this real quick. I'll just color code this so you all understand where I got this from. This right here is the total. It's also where I got this from and where I got this from. And that is that for that. Next question asks, what percent of people visit the website in fall given they look at the outbreaks page? Now, I will admit that the phrasing here is a little bit awkward, and you need to realize that when they're giving you a limitation. So when they say given, and in math, given tells you something specific. It means you're supposed to assume this. You're supposed to start with this knowledge. This is handed to you. You must assume it to be true. So that means they're looking at the outbreaks page. That means they're not looking at the health topics page. So that means we are restricted to this column right here. Okay, and again, the people, this one right here, what percent of people, that's the total. Wait, but the total of what? The total of the outbreaks page, right? So we're only looking at the outbreaks page because that's given. Sorry, yes, given that they look at the outbreaks page, not looking at health topics. So that means that this is 98 divided by 228. Because, again, it's given that they're looking at the outbreaks page. They're not looking at the health topics. Not the total, just that. And then we have to also convert this to a percentage. And all you do is just put that in the calculator. And you'll get a decimal, but remember what percent means. Percent means divided by 100. So it's a, whoop, I don't want that color. I'll actually stick with the green. So this is 0. I'll actually show you the conversion real quick. So this is 0.0298, blah, 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 blah. Okay, but in percent, we can move that decimal over 2 spots and say this is 42.98%. But if we're rounding to only one digit, we would actually have to say 43%. And so that will be our answer. Don't forget to really emphasize your answers. It's clear for the grader to read, the grader being myself. Whoop. Of course, I have the benefit of Cami. And that finishes number 1. And now we are going to move on to the next part. Again, for practice sake, especially if you're at home, especially if you haven't done this yet, I recommend you really try to work this out yourself first before you watch me do it and explain it. And if you do watch me explain it, pause it. Try your best to do it on your own until you're stuck. Then resume watching me, and then once you're unstuck, pause it again and keep working until you're stuck again. So the first thing we are told to do is to make a dot plot, and of course I will gladly comply. We'll try to hopefully make something usable. And it's a good idea to look for the minimum and maximum first, so I know how many numbers I'm looking at. So it appears to me that in fact, I could actually write this in. It appears to me that the maximum is 77. Did I miss any? I think that is correct. Okay, so like there's a couple of these, but it seems to me that the maximum is 77. It also appears to me that the minimum is 62. And I'm feeling pretty confident about that. So those two numbers are about 15 apart. So in my mind, I'm thinking like, if I can do 16 numbers, and I'm just going to cut this in half. And I cut these in half. And then I'll cut these in half. And that should give me plenty of tick marks to do a dot plot. Okay, so this will be 62 right here. 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77. Right here. And I could put in some more, but in fact, I probably might at the, I don't know. We'll see. It's kind of hard to squish those in there. Let's just see. Okay, so we have to make a dot plot. So I'm just going to go in order. I'm just going to go in the top row and just go all the way across. And for each one, I'll make a little circle just right above that number. And let me get a little bit more space here. So 70, 71, 63, 68, 74, 77, 77, 72, 432, 65, 72. See, now there's two of these, so I put one on top. 65 again. Oh, wait. I already did that one. I was as the other 72. Okay. Yeah, I misread that. I lost my spot when I looked over. 68, and that's going to be important, right? You don't want to make mistakes. You want to make sure that you don't repeat any. So be very careful and don't mess it up, because if you do, it's going to not be good for you. So 66, 66, 62, 69, 71, 68, 76, 70, 69, 68, 72, 69, 70, and 71. And there's my dot plot. A little tedious, but hey, it is what it is. So I didn't write in the minimum, but the minimum was 62. So that's this number right here. And now, oh, yes, there is a standard deviation question. Yes, that's going to be wonderful. Now we're going to find the median. That's right. Even though Q1 is listed above median, you actually need the median first. So how many numbers are there again? There's 28 numbers. So if there's 28 numbers, that means there's 14 below the median and 14 above the median. So that means that the median will be between the 14th and 15th number. So basically, if you have an even number of numbers and you want to find the median, take the number of numbers, divide it by 2, and that number and the next one have to average out. So you add those two together and divide them by 2. So for us here, what that means, for example, is that there's 28 numbers. So we divide that by 2, so that's 14. And that means we take the 14th and 15th numbers, add them together, and divide them by 2. So what is the 14th number? What is the 15th number? Well, we can't go by this set up here because it's not in order. And it would take a little bit of time for us to put it in order. And I don't really want to do that. So you know what? The dot plot actually is already in order. So we can just use that in order to find our median. So 14th and 15th number, let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, middle. So the median is right there at 69. And so what I'm saying is that right here are 14 numbers inside that red enclosure. And then there's also 14 numbers over on this side. And the median is the one between the two. Well, lucky us, here this median is 69. Both the 14th and 15th number are 69. So if you average them, you just get 69 again. So that is our median. Now, in order to find the Q1, we take these 14 numbers here. And again, because it's an even number of numbers, we divide that by 2, so we get 7. That means the median of this is between the 7th and 8th number. Where is the 7th and 8th number? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The 7th number is 66. The 8th number is 68. So it's actually 67. Whoop, right here. Q1 is 67. For Q3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's between here and here. So it's between 71 and 72. So that would be 71.5. The mean, well, that's a lot of work. I have to add them all up. Don't really want to do weighted average. Yeah. I'm looking at the clock here. I have about 2 minutes. Let me answer B first. I've done a lot of ones with mean. You just add them up and divide by 28 in this case, the number of numbers. I think I want to move on to B real quick. So it says shape, center, outliers. Well, how would you describe the shape? It's a little awkward. If it didn't have these numbers out here on the left, I would say it's more like skewed right. It's not quite symmetrical. I don't know. I'm prone to saying this is skewed right. And in order to find the outliers, we have to take the IQR, which is Q3 minus Q1, which in this case is 4.5. Multiply that by 1.5. So 4.5 times 1.5. And that, of course, is 6.75. And we have to add that to Q3. Q3 being 71.5. Is there a number above 78-ish? And no, there is not. And what about Q1 minus 6.75? Is there a number that's like 60? No, there's not. So there's no outliers. No outliers. Okay, so that answer is B. And then here for mean, again, you just add up all the numbers and divide by how many there are. Standard deviation, we did another video about that. Check the method. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.